everybody, John Van Dyke here from New Jersey Exposed. Today is Friday, April 2nd, 2021. Time is 12:38 p.m. Yes, Jersey time. Isn't that right, Ronnie Eaton? Jersey time, because Ronnie's in New Jersey too. He's just a couple miles south of me, and he's living in Jersey time. All right, this story's about 2 years old, but it's a very disturbing story, and once again, it's costing taxpayers money because we got a creepy cop who had to do something creepy to a woman, and this is a woman who perpetrated. All right, this is reported in New York Times. It's nytimes.com. I'll put the link in the description for you, and it reads as follows. Woman who said officer removed her tampon will receive $205,000. What? You can't make this stuff up, people. You can't make it up. This is coming out of San Antonio, Texas, I'm assuming now. All right, it reads as follows. San Antonio approved the payout to Natalie Sims, 40, who said in a lawsuit that the officer violated her rights, did more than violate her rights, violated her body during a cavity search on the street in 2016. A cavity search. Jesus Christ. Nothing's sacred anymore. You know, everything's up for grabs. No pun intended. All right, so this is... there's actual video of this. I'll see if I can get the video. I'm just reading the story now. I haven't read the full story. A police officer searching Natalie Sims for illegal drugs told her to spread her legs. Oh, hey now. On the side of a San Antonio street to Miss Sims' shock. I'd be shocked too if some cop said to me, hey, spread your legs, John. I'm like, uh-oh. This is gonna hurt. She said, to Miss Sims' shock, she said in a federal lawsuit, the female officer, so the females obviously got some issues here. I wonder what team the female officer's on, because, you know, there's a high rate of females on the other team, if you know what I mean. To Miss Sims' shock, she and the female officer then shined a flashlight into her underwear. Ooga. Reached in. I mean, men even know enough not to do this. Dumb cops, male cops, I think they know enough not. Don't go there. Don't do that with a woman. That's not going to have a good outcome. Flashlight into her underwear. Reached in and pulled out her tampon. Yeah! Now, I know every guy out there is cringing because us as a man and men, we don't want to know anything about that aspect of a female. We don't want to know about it. At least I don't want to know about it. I don't want to see it, and I don't want to know about it. And to see a girlfriend with that string hanging out is not a good look, not a good image. Sorry, ladies. That's just how my brain, and I'm sure many other men's brains are at. We like to think that that area of your anatomy is holy and spick and span clean and whatever. So we tune that aspect of your anatomy and physiology out of our brains. We don't want to know about it. I'm pretty sure that's probably why the male cops don't go there and you don't hear stories like that. On Thursday, the city of San Antonio approved a $205,000 payout to Ms. Sims, 40, after she said in the suit that the city had violated her constitutional rights and that the officer had conducted a vaginal cavity examination in public with male officers nearby. Well, how do we know that that female officer is not a lesbian and she's getting her rocks off on it? So what is the difference if it's a male or female? If she's a female and she's a lesbian, she's getting excited over that. Ooh, I get to feel some chick up. She also sued the police officer who conducted the 2016 search, Mara Wilson. No amount of money will replace what's been taken away from Natalie, which is her dignity, and I agree. Dean Malone, a lawyer for Ms. Sims, said in a phone interview, the two parties negotiated the amount in August. He added, what matters to Natalie is at least an acknowledgement that she was harmed. Andy Segovia, the city attorney for San Antonio, said in a statement, we were able to resolve this matter with the proposed settlement and believe it to be in the best interest of all involved. Yeah, well, you know what the interest is? I don't know for sure with this lawsuit, but I can tell you here, for the most part, in New Jersey, and I'm sure other places, when you take a civil judgment settlement, meaning you and the other party settle on the amount, you sign a non-disclosure clause. That means you have to keep your mouth shut. You can't talk about the settlement itself. That also means that the city does not admit any guilt. So basically the city is giving her $200,000 to shut up and go away. The lawyer, you know who makes out in this matter? The lawyer makes out. The woman makes her money, but look what she had to go through to make the money. But really, it's the lawyer that makes out, and again, it's the taxpayers that pay. Now, I just said this, so here we go. This is what it says. The proposed settlement does not acknowledge wrongdoing, said Laura Mays, the city's chief communication officer. She declined to comment further because the case has not been dismissed. This is a shocking search. It is grossly invasive. It's disgusting, too, okay? Suppose she had a heavy flow going on. Yeah! Said Carl Taki, a senior staff lawyer for the American Civil Liberties Union. Without a probable cause to arrest, the officer's decision to conduct a search based on speculation was highly inappropriate, he added. The lawsuit follows a separate incident in Houston, in which Harris County agreed to pay a woman $185,000 in January 2018 after she brought a federal lawsuit saying that deputy sheriffs had performed a cavity search on her near a bustling convenience store, violating her constitutional rights. On the night of August 8, 2016, Ms. Sims was sitting on a curb on the phone waiting for her boyfriend when San Antonio police officers approached her and asked if they could search your car for drugs, according to the complaint. Yeah, that's when you tell the cop to go F off. You're not going in my car, and I'm not unlocking the doors. Go away. Go find somebody else to bother. You see, this is what I talk about. You know, they use motor vehicle is a big way for police to get arrests. I can't tell you how many stories I read where they stopped. I see some people got arrested, and I read the story, and it all results from a motor vehicle stop. She had a criminal record and had served time for robbery to fund a past drug habit, Mr. Malone said, but she was not in possession of illegal drugs that night and consented. See, she made a big mistake by the consent. Searched the car because she believed she had no choice, her complaint said. Well, yeah, she had no choice. She's intimidated. Everybody's intimidated by these cops. All of a sudden, you're surrounded by the football team, and they're looking down at you. Already, you know, you're worried for your safety because how many stories do you hear about people getting hurt? When the Officer Wilson, a veteran of the San Antonio Police Department, began searching Miss Sims, she made small talk as if having a cup of coffee, according to the complaint. Yeah, well, that's a distraction tactic, okay? They're setting you up. You can't trust anything. When you're in a situation like that, you cannot, that cop is your enemy at that moment, because that cop is only looking to jam you up, get that arrest, and get that pat on the shoulder from her higher-ups. Good work there, Miss Wilson. The complaint said the officer asked if Miss Sims had anything in her pants, and when Miss Sims responded that she was on her period, whether Miss Sims was wearing a tampon. I'm just going to look. I'm not going to reach. Well, it isn't. You did search her, okay? That goes beyond a Terry stop, because now a Terry stop is the pat on the outside. She did a search. She opened up her drawers and flashed the light down there. That's the same as going into your car and opening up the glove compartment. If they can see it in plain view, that's fine. But the minute they're going into something, and in this case here, going into this woman's underwear. I'm not going to reach, Officer Wells said, according to the complaint. When she pulled the string and removed the tampon, Ms. Sims was shocked. Ms. Sims should have smacked that bitch upside her head. That is disgusting, okay? That cop there is disgusting. That is a creep cop right there. And I'm sure all you bad cops out there and regular cops and you bootlickers will agree with me. That is disgusting. You set that woman up. You violated her rights. That woman didn't agree to a search. And then you open up her underwear and you flash your flashlight in there and then you see a string and you pull the fucking string out. It's full of blood, right? Why would you do that, she said, according to transcriptions of the interaction caught on dash camera video from the Officer Wilson's vehicle, which were included in her complaint. I don't know, Officer Wilson said, according to the complaint. It looked like it had stuff in there. Now, Miss Wilson, in my opinion, is a creep lesbian. She's a lesbian creep. Now, I know plenty of lesbians out there. I'm friends with several, and they're all good people. So don't come at me and say, oh, you hate lesbians, you hate gay people. No, that's not true at all. This woman, this female cop here is a creep because no straight woman would do that to another woman. The straight woman would not even want to put her hand near another woman's twat while it's got a tampon in it. So this is a lesbian woman who's getting off on humiliating this woman. You know, it's just more violence against women. And then on the other hand, maybe she's not a lesbian. Maybe she's just a woman, one of these wackadoodles who gets off on, as I just said, humiliating and controlling another woman. It's violence against women. So she says she doesn't know. Well, of course she doesn't know. She doesn't want to say the real reason. Oh, I get my jollies off on that. I'll be going home tonight. Think about how I yanked a tampon out of your private parts. She held a tampon up and made statements about it before continuing to search the area around Miss Sims' genitals. The complaint said the officer told Miss Sims to remain still. All right, so this is a creepy sexual thing, okay? Imagine that was a male cop doing that. You would immediately think this cop is creepy, he's weird, he's got some kind of sexual fetish. So just apply that to the female. That female, based on what I'm reading here, is being creepy, all right? She went in there, she saw the string hanging out. We all know what that is. Guys all seen their girlfriends with the string hanging out. It's not something you want to see, okay? I don't want to see it. And I've seen some pretty disgusting things in my line of work. Anyway, so this woman goes in there, out of her way, pulls the tampon out, holds it up. It's got blood all on it. This is just more humiliation for that woman. She held the tampon up and made statements about it before continuing to search the area around Miss Sims' genitals. So she wasn't done. She had to keep going there and back and looking at the genitals and feeling her up, the complaint said. The officer told Miss Simmons to remain still. Miss Sims said that during the search, she flinched, complained, and asked if she could continue at a police station. That would have been the appropriate thing to do. To take her back to the police station, though they can't, because they literally didn't have any probable cause to do what they did. But just say, maybe they generally thought they had probable cause. So you take this woman back, and you have at least one or two more female officers there, or even maybe a non-female officer, another female employee there to stand by while this takes place. But they didn't do that. This woman, this female cop, she's a creep. She's creepy. But Officer Wells responded sarcastically and refused her request, the complaint said. Yeah, because she doesn't want, because at headquarters there's going to be cameras rolling all over the place, and why would she want to do it like that? When no drugs are found, the officers allowed Ms. Sim to eventually drive away from the scene, but her dignity, self-worth were left behind lawsuit. Now, there's no mention as to what they did with the tampon. Did they hold that for evidence?
Come on, man.
I mean, that's hazardous material. It's got blood on it.
Come on, man.
Ugh. A lawyer for Ms. Wilson did not respond to requests for comment on Wednesday. In court documents, Ms. Wilson has denied Ms. Sims' allegations. The police department declined to comment on his search practices, referring questions to Mr. Segovia, the city attorney. Well, this is another good situation where qualified immunity, if that was removed, that this officer would be paying out of her own pocket for what she did. Mr. Takai, the ACLU lawyer, said that the question now was whether the case would serve as a wake-up call for the police department. No, there's no wake-up call, because that money didn't come out of anybody's pocket. It came out of a fund or an insurance policy, and it's the taxpayers that paid. And taxpayers, for the most part, are not aware of the crap that cops perpetrate on people and the money that they cost them. And when you do try to talk about it, you get the bootlickers and the blue goo enablers come to the rescue and attack people like me. Okay. the amount paid to Ms. Sims was a small percentage of the department's overall budget. He said San Antonio allocated about $820 million to police and fire service for the 2020 fiscal year. Imagine that, $820 million to the police and fire department, and you still got crime coming out of our wazoos, right? I'm all against this. I'm against defunding the police, but keep throwing money at these police. Hire more police, more of this, more of that, and it really has no effect, in my opinion. Ms. Wilson retired from the police department in May 2017. While a note was made in her file about the incident, an annual review of her performance in January 27 said she had exceeded expectations according to Ms. Sims' complaint. What's her expectations? She brought in a lot of money for the city? As for Ms. Sims, Ms. Malone says she's just glad to get on with her life. Well, Ms. Sims gets on with her life with that nightmare to relive. And the cop, Ms. Wilson, goes on with her life, collecting her nice pension. They don't say how much she made. I'm sure she's over six figures. And she's probably getting a six-figure pension. And it's like she just rides off in the sunset like nothing ever happened. And that, again, this comes back. You want to clean up the police, the bad police, and I'm directing this at police. You want these stories to go away. You want integrity. You want people to respect you. You want that protection, serve and protect the community, to have some kind of meaning behind it. Then you got to step up and play and start putting a stop to this crap. And when the public tries to go in there and implement policies that will punish police officers like Ms. Wilson, who violated that woman and humiliated her, that we can put policies in place that will punish that officer financially. This is why we got to remove qualified immunity. That way the officer has a dog in a fight. This is a classic example of why we need that, to remove it, to remove qualified immunity and let these officers all go out and get a liability policy, and so that when something like this happens and the city settles for $205,000, that officer is going to pay 50% of that. And if they get enough lawsuits against them and payouts against them, then their policy rates will go so high, it'll be more than they make. It's got to be like car insurance. The more accidents and points you get on your license, the higher your rates go. And you could even apply a point system so that if you get a cop that, if you got a high complaint rate against you or use of force against you, that you would get points, and that would affect your insurance rates. So that way, if you're a good cop, you're not out there getting all these complaints against you, you don't have a high rate of use of force, that you're a good cop and you're not hurting people and you're not causing lawsuits, you're just getting in the car every day and going out and doing the job you're supposed to do, which is enforce laws, be respectful to people, no matter what their economic situation is, their color their skin is, or how dumb they are, whatever. That you'll be rewarded with your policy rates. And then you get the cop like that Joe Dixon out of Millville, who had the highest rate of force in the state of New Jersey and complaints against him, and picks that poor woman up and body slams and breaks her ribs. Somebody like him, he'd have a very high insurance premium to pay. And by the way, that settlement hasn't been reached yet, as far as I'm aware. So even though he's out of his job, town at some point is going to be paying out for that. So this is where qualified immunity needs to be removed. Officers get their own liability insurance, and then you get officers like this Miss Wilson here, who violated that woman in full public view, pulled her tampon out, dangled it in front of her face. Don't talk as to what happened to that tampon. She's not held accountable. And that poor woman has to live with that nightmare of being treated like that. And people like me are here doing the story, and you out there are shaking your heads. When's it going to end? Because the way I see it, there is no light at the end of the tunnel. All right, I will put the link in the description for the story. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Very disturbing story. More well-trained professionals out there risking our lives as they protect and serve the community. Till next time.